Coming off some great results that recently caught a lot of investor attention, we're joined once again with Scott Petsel. You are the president of Metallic Minerals. My good sir, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here, Brandon.
Yeah, nice to talk to you again as well. You've had a lot happen with your company recently. We're going to be talking about that. But beforehand, and before that, for an investor who is maybe just hearing the story for the first time, do you mind giving us an overview of who Metallic Minerals is and what you're searching for as well?
I'll just say that Metallic Minerals is a precious and base metal exploration and development growth stage company with key assets in North America.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at that. It's a very simple summary, but I think we've got some good news to talk about, and I want to focus on that for our
And that's very fair because your stock really came alive with that. There was a lot of investors that have flown in. You've had a lot of interest. And this happened on February 28th. You had some results come in at your Plata project. Do you mind going into this? I'm sure you don't.
Yeah, I don't at all. We're super excited about the drill results that we posted on February 28th. Really what we're talking about is our Plata project in southwestern Colorado that we picked up in 2019. We've only drilled 4 holes on the project, but we've done very systematic exploration to define the targets. And our last hole of this 2022 season, we seem to have made a new discovery, with the result being this 816-meter hole that grades 0.41% copper equivalent recovered. The grade's increasing down the hole, so the lower half, the lower 500 meters grades over 0.5% copper equivalent. In the last couple of meters, there's 5 meters of 5% copper equivalents, 2.5% copper, 18 grams silver, and 5 grams per ton combined gold and PGE. So it looks like a new part of this system, a new fluid source perhaps.
Yeah.
And it's wide open around it. We've really, drilled this hole specifically to expand the resource that we tested or brought to the market in 2022, April of last year.
Yeah.
Which was a nearly billion-pound resource with 15 million ounces of silver attendant. This hole was designed to expand that resource, but we've really seen an increase in the grade and all these new exotic, interesting metals to help us out, the precious metal side, which I can't be more pleased about.
Yeah, and it's right here as well. And we were discussing just before the camera turned on about how much this was obviously drilled in the past, but they were just looking for copper. They weren't looking for these other things.
Yeah, so historically, Rio Tinto and Freeport had this project back in the 50s through the 70s, and other majors were in there as well. But the land package was fairly fractured. Mm-hmm. And, in the 70s, the copper market wasn't that good, but the exploration work on the project dropped off in the 70s, and the district really hasn't seen any work since the 70s. So we've really, since we picked it up in 2019, brought a new energy to the district, helped to make this discovery. And the things that we're finding as we go through and systematically do our work is that a lot of the historic holes were not sampled for these precious metals. So, for example, this hole LP1, next to 2204, which was our high-grade sample that we drilled this year, our high-grade hole, is 200 meters away. The copper grades are somewhat similar, but historically they didn't sample for silver, gold, or the PGE minerals, which are a significant credit in the new hole. So we have an opportunity to perhaps upgrade the resource by continuing to look at these precious metal values and do more sampling or more extensive sampling with infill drilling and expansion drilling as we move forward.
Yeah, and I was about to ask as well, what are those steps moving forward? Because obviously when you get a hole like this, you want to follow up on that, and it sounds like you just answered that as well.
Yeah, so the idea really is to just do start to drill around it. It's out on its own, and it's open in all directions, both down dip and laterally, and the hole ended in mineralization. I mean, really good mineralization. So we're hoping to do an extensive program this summer that will expand that resource, expand this new discovery, and give us more information as we try and drill through the mineralization.
Yeah, fantastic to hear. Well, it's not just that your company is focusing on. You obviously have your flagship silver project, Keno Silver Project, and that's in the Yukon. Can you dive a little bit more into that project and what you've been able to accomplish over the last little while?
Well, we're really a blessed company to have key assets like this. Not only the Plata project, but our Keno Hill silver project in the historic Keno Silver District, where over 200 million ounces of silver has been mined. And our next door, brownfields neighbor, Hecla, owns over 120 million ounces in current resources and reserves.
Wow.
So it's a big district with a lot of history. We've got the second largest land package, 171 square kilometers. And
Massive.
We've identified 40 different targets. 20 of those are drill ready. We've drilled on 11 of them. We've got 5 of them that are about ready to move into the resource stage. And we're working on announcing an inaugural resource for the project sometime in 2023.
Yeah, great to hear. I know since we last been speaking, you guys have been putting a lot of work into there. And again, just like your La Plata, you guys are really making ground on this, which is exactly what you look for from an exploration company, to continue to prove more and more until one day it becomes that good day you get that call and it's time to move on to the next stage.
Sometimes it's a grind, but you got to believe in yourself and you got to believe in your assets. And we know that we are able to recognize value like this. Mm-hmm. And as you put the effort forth, the rewards begin to come.
Yeah, very well said. Now, I do want to mention something else here because we've mentioned 2 great properties that you've been working on, but it was also in late January you announced a gold production royalty agreement with Parker Schnabel and Little Flake Mining of the Discovery Channel's Gold Rush channel, or Gold Rush television show. How did that come to be, and what is that?
Well, it's a good time to be a Metallic Minerals shareholder because of all of these assets are really interesting and really poised for more growth. This one, this agreement that we've made with Parker, we're the 3rd largest alluvial gold claim holder in the Yukon territories. And not many people know that because of our base and precious metal hard rock exploration focus.
Yeah.
But we've slowly accumulated land in a key jurisdiction of the historic Klondike District, where over 20 million ounces of gold has been produced since the Klondike Gold Rush back in the 1898. And we've got a key piece of that ground that was not mined historically because it's held in reserve for water and power for the big floating dredges down in the Indian River Valley. Mm-hmm. And so Parker's been working in the Indian River Valley. He's basically tapped out his current claims. He's looking for land. He's a big operator. He saw what we had. We've been able to strike an agreement. He's mobilizing the site to drill upwards of 400 holes on the project this March. It will begin operation in June and wants to produce between 5,000 and 10,000 ounces of gold this year. And again, we've got a 10 to 15% royalty on that production. So I'll let you do the math, but that's a significant underpinning of cash in Metallic Minerals that helps us through any downtimes, but also supplements our exploration.
Yeah,
and with the idea of being able to expand and have additional operators, we could see ourselves being self-funded for exploration as we go forward, which is really great for sure.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's come a long way over the last few years, and that's an attribute to the amount of work that you guys continue to put into this company. And speaking about things that are going to continue for investors who are either currently investors with you or watching this and are looking for more information, want to know what to be excited about, what are the things coming down the pipelines for investors to be watching out for?
Well, I think the key thing that we'll see is an expanded resource at La Plata based on the new drilling that we've done. Mm-hmm. And I think the new hole is going to show how significant even a single or 2 holes can be to a resource expansion. We'll also be looking at producing the inaugural resource for our Keno Silver project.
Yeah.
And continued news on hopefully new royalty agreements in the Klondike. But we've still got some outstanding results to announce as well at Keno. So lots of things moving forward to keep our shareholders interested.
Well, sounds great, Scott. I appreciate all this information. And for more information, if an investor wanted to look into you a little bit more, where can they turn?
MMGsilver.com is our website. And yes, please.
Perfect. Well, Scott, I appreciate so much for your time. Like always, hope you enjoy the rest of your PDAC. And everyone knows where they can be turning to find out more information. Sounds like you have a lot going on, but there's a lot more to come as well.
Yes. Thank you very much, Brandon.